Good morning. Oh, it's good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to me to have a chance to present Korean experience on the public employment service in Korea. Let me introduce me first. I am Kilsang as president of the KEIS, Korea Employment Information Service. And I have worked at the Korean government for about 10 years. And during that period, I have a chance to study at the University of Hawaii with the full scholarship of the US government. And I got a PhD in economics. And I returned to the government, and then I moved to the Korea Labor Institute. At the time, I designed the Korean employment insurance system. And I was in charge of the development of labor market policies, including the public employment services and the labor market policies. Then I moved to the university to teach labor market policies and public employment services. So actually my major is labor economics, but these issues of the employment service is my another major. And now I'm working at Korea Employment Information Service. Now I'm delivering our public employment services. So this is my contents of the presentation. Let's first look at the historical development of Korean public employment services. Unfortunately, Korea has very painful history on the public employment service. In 1922, at the time, the Japanese colonial government introduced the public employment offices, and it increased for 6 years until 1936. But the PES office were in the front line of colonial exploitation by compulsory mobilization of Koreans. So this formed a bad image on the public employment service in Korea. After independence in 1945, because of this bad image on public employment service, Korean government was very reluctant to develop the public employment services. So the private employment service agencies played a major role in delivering employment services. But the service quality was very low, and sometimes their behavior was quite unlawful. So it fixed the bad image on employment services. But in 1961, Korean government first enacted the employment security law, and the government tried to give the very basic public employment offices. And at the time, it was quite decentralized public employment services. So at the time, there's 44 municipal public employment offices at the time. But in 1969, because of the very low quality of these municipal employment services, Korean government tried to change to the decentralized office to the centralized offices in 1969. So they changed the employment security law. But in 1972, PS office, there was only 44. But Korean government integrated these 44 independent centralized PS office to the local labor offices. So it is part of the local labor offices. I think this is maybe backward step in the development of the public employment service. So independent public employment service became integrated into the local labor office as one of the division of the local labor offices. But in 1995, Korea introduced the employment in the system, and I named this system as the employment in the system instead of unemployment in the system. Korean employment in the system is a combination of traditional unemployment benefit scheme and active labor market programs, just like Germany, Japan, Canada, and Austria. So in the process of introducing the employment insurance system, I and a group of scholars in the Employment Insurance Research Commission recommend the Korean government to introduce the semi-autonomous public employment agencies for administration of the employment insurance program and the development of public employment services. But the Korean government at the time, they, especially the Minister of Labor, wanted to have their own centralized PS offices. So they decided the local labor offices will deliver the public employment services. So I think that at the time, Korean government lost a very good chance to develop the Korean public employment services. But the Korean financial crisis in 1997 gave a very good opportunity to develop the public employment services. Right after the financial crisis, the unemployment rate increased very high. So in order to give the unemployment benefit, Korean government expanded this local labor, because this local office is the number is quite limited. At the time, the total staff of the employment service was about 600. So by this limited number of staffs, government cannot give the unemployment benefit. There was a very long line outside of the office. So Korean government established local job centers, which is quite under the local labor office. There is independent job centers. So in 1998, the number of the job centers was 99, and in the year 2001, it increased to 168. And the interesting is the staff of the job centers was consisted with both civil servant and non-civil servant. But civil servant is about 20%, and the non-civil servant was 80%. In 1994, and on April 6 in 1995, President of Korea declared that this PS office is very important to develop labor market policies and improve the job matching. So Korean government at the time declared that development of PS will be one of the national agenda projects. From that time, Korean government tried to improve the PS offices in Korea. And in 2009, Korea first introduced the Employment Success Package Program, which is one of the individualized, tailored service program. And the current government, the current Park-geun-hye government, has focused tailored employment and welfare services as a major national policy agenda. And from this year, or from last January, Korean government is trying to establish the Job and Welfare Plus Center as the one-stop employment and welfare service center. Now let's look at just the outline of the current Korean PS. This is the basic outline of the job center under the Minister of Employment and Labor. And under the Minister of Labor, there is a regional and the local employment and the labor offices. And under that office, there is a job centers, 83 job centers. And these job centers is divided by these divisions, and it covers the employment insurance programs and implement of the labor market programs, and some include matching the foreign workers, and the job skill development programs, and local cooperation with local partners, with the local government and the NPOs, and even the Employers Association. And there is municipal job centers, 289, but it's very small. In the regional level, it is about, in one center, it's about 10 to 15. But in the local government, it's about 2 or 3. It's a very small size. And also there is a very special job centers for disabled, women, veterans, and outplacement service centers. So in all of these national or local public and private employment agencies are connected with the Korea Employment Service. This is the structure of the Korean employment services. In the central government, Ministry of Employment and Labor is the major ministries on the job centers and the job welfare plus centers. But Ministry of Patriot and Veterans has their another job centers for patriots and veterans, and the Ministry of Defense has their own job center for veterans. And the public institutions under different ministries. KEIS is the major headquarters of the information service on the labor market. And the job centers for disabled is under the Ministry of Labor, and there's another independent agencies. And the Korea Job World is one of the institute for job guidance for the young people. And there are outplacement service centers for mid-aged, subsidized by the Ministry of Employment and Labor. And the Ministry of Women, Ministry of Gender Equality and Family, they also have their own women new job centers. But usually there's NPOs, such as YWCA. And principal, provincial and the municipal government has their own small-sized job centers. And the private agencies, there are about 9,000 private employment agencies and 2,000 temporary work agencies. It's very complex. And also, let me introduce the major functions of our institute, KEIS. It's two parts. One part is the research area for better and more good information to deliver, provide a good labor market information. So there's a research part. And the last part is the development of the operation, develops and operate of the employment information networks such as WorkNet, Human Resource Development Network, and the Employment Insurance Network, Employment Permit System Network, and the IRMOA system. This is a kind of all kind of information of the subsidized employment project. This is a major employment information networks of the KEIS. Major is one thing is the employment insurance network. Second one is the employment support network. Is the WorkNet. Is kind of job banks. And the third one is the vocational training network. So all kinds of information on the vocational training is on this HRDNet. And these three major information networks are connected to each other. And we have a Paro-1 system. This is like one single window for all kinds of labor market informations. So the steps in the local job centers and the local government, they can use this Paro-1 system, and they can deliver the tailored employment services, employment and welfare services. And all the information, the other local government job centers and some private contract out employment services agencies and some vocational training institutes, all of these informations are connected with this WorkNet. And there is IRMOA and the EPS, is Employment Permit System for Foreign Workers. And all kinds of information is connected through the KEIS information networks. And this EIS system is all kinds of this big data information is automatically formed and delivered the information to the decision makers in the government. This is the EIS system. And now let's introduce about the PS reform in Korea. The basic direction of PS reform is as follows. One is the modernization of the local job centers. Before the 2005, the local job centers size is quite small, and usually it's because of bad image on the employment services. Usually the location was not in the good. It's not in the. It's quite. The office was quite small size and it's some dirty. But from the modernization of the job centers from 2005, we change to the very modernized offices and in the very good access place. And another one is individualized tailored service for vulnerable groups, such as the long-term unemployed and the youth and the old and career break women. And customized focused and case management approach and the streamlining services through integration of the programs is major direction of the PS reform. And establishment of one-stop service delivery system and the closer linkage between employment service and the welfare services is another major direction. And development of a local partnership. Korea is a traditionally very centralized country, but we are going to develop the local partnership with the local government and the trade unions and the employees associations and the NPOs in the local areas. And the strengthening infrastructure for better employment information service. So in 2006, government developed a KEIS. Until that time, KEIS was one of the government, but nowadays it's independent, and we are the kind of headquarters of the all kind of employment services. And activate welfare recipients and the performance-based approach to services another directions. Now, I'd like to introduce two kinds of the PS reform. One is the Employment Success Package Program. Korea started this program in 2009, and this was the first customized case management approach in employment service in Korea, just like a New Deal program in the UK. And this project produced a very good result, reaching 62% of the employment rate. And based on this good performance, Korean government has expanded the size of the volumes of the participants. And from 2012, the traditional program was we called Type 1 for low-income job seekers. And we introduced 2012, the Type 2 program is for the youth and displays the mid-aged job seekers. So under this program is a case Type 1 and Type 2. And in case the service flow of the Employment Success Package Program, there is a three-stage steps. First stage is the diagnosis of the employment barriers. What is the employment barriers? They try to find out what is the barriers of the employment, and then how to enhance the willingness to work, and the formation of the individual action plan. So the case managers trying to find out the employment barriers and assist to develop their own individual action plan. For the participant, there is a participation allowance. Maximum is 200,000 Korean won. 1,000 Korean is just very similar, about $1 US. And the second stage, this is how to improve the capacity of the job skills. So the government provides free vocational training programs and enhancement of the job adaptive power. And there would also, if it is necessary, government provide a subsidized work experience. This is for 6 months. And during these 6 months, there's a participation allowance for the participants. And the maximum is 400,000 Korean won per month. And the third stage is the intensive job placement period. This is for 3 months. And if they succeed in finding a job, then there is a 1 million Korean won as the employment success allowance. For maintaining the longer employment, for this allowance is 1 month is just 200,000 Korean won, and on the third month, if they sustain the employment, the allowance is second allowance is 300,000 Korean won, and at the end of the 6 months, there is 500,000 Korean won. So if they sustain the employment for a longer period, they can receive more allowance. And the final stage is after service. Once they find a job, sometimes they are going to lose a job very quickly. So government subsidies assist to adapt to their new jobs. It's for about 3 months. And the partnership in Employment Success Package Program is in the midst of employment and labor. Planning, budgeting, and monitoring is the role of the Minister of Employment and Labor, and the local job centers and the municipal government find out who is the candidates, and they transfer to the local job centers. And about 60% of the Type 1 program are contracted out to the private employment agencies, and the others are contracted out with some public employment agencies, or it is delivered by most of them are delivered by the local job centers. And the KEIS is the major supporting agency institute for all of these programs. We design the programs and evaluate performance, and train the KEIS managers and get the information through our KEIS information networks. Another one is the Job Welfare Plus Center. The background of this Job Welfare Plus Center is the program is very segmented, provider-oriented, and very complex employment and welfare delivery channels in Korea. And another one is too many similar employment support and welfare programs. In the employment programs, about more than 200 different programs in different ministries, and the welfare programs about 300 different programs. So it's very complex. So clients cannot find out. It's very difficult to which institute deliver what kind of programs. So we wanted to combine it in one single one-stop service centers. And the little partnership in each levels of service providers. In the central government and the central local government, and the public and private partnership is very limited. So we wanted to develop these local partnerships in the central and the central, local, and the public and private partnerships. Characteristics of this one-stop center is integrated model of job placement, business creation, welfare services, health and medical services, and the microcredit financing service is a one-stop visit under the one roof, same branded office. And the central, local, and the public-private partnership model. So this is in between the centralized and decentralized PS model. And provide the one-stop employment and welfare services. It has started from the last January. And it has expanded from 5 until now. And at the end of this year, it will be expanded to about 10. And by the end of the year 2017, we will increase the number increase to about 70. The first Job Welfare Plus Center is in Namyangju One-Stop Center. There is under the roof. There are several different kinds of services, agencies. This is the pictures. This is the one overall views and the initial counseling windows, and the first visit, and the unemployment benefit, and the microcredit financial counseling, and the women new job centers, and the job success package program, welfare service, and the job matching services, and the vocational training counseling. All kinds of different services under the same roof in the one offices. Performance of these Namyangju pilot one-stop centers, it increased the number of the visitors and increased the number of job placement, increased the service satisfaction. So government is trying to expand these pilot job centers. Now it's a conclusion. Korea has experimented very diverse PS models, but Korea PS is still designing its blueprint. It's still in the transition period. Korean experience show following implications. First one is one-stop service center with unified governance is effective in job matching and activating people. And individualized tailored employment and welfare service are quite useful. And the development of the employment information service and the integration of online service and offline services institutions are essential. But nowadays, KEIS is the online service institute, and the job center under the Ministry of Labor and Employment and Labor is an offline employment service center. So I hope, I already recommend to Korea to integrate these two different institutions. And the central local, public-private partnership is quite important to deliver better and effective services. And the profiling of job seekers are very necessary for focusing more vulnerable groups. And the appropriate case load per case manager and the number of qualified case managers are very essential for tailored case management. Okay, thank you for your attention.